5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
They did it! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that? Oh yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yo, what up, everybody? Kicking It Stateside, back again for Tuesday edition of the one and only Kicking It Stateside on A2D Radio. It is July 27th. Summer is flying by, which means Premier League season is right around the corner. How exciting! Hands up for that one.
Way to make me feel sad and then happy right away.
I know. I threw the old curveball at you. Adam Modic, Brian Wheeler here. How are you, my friend? What's going on?
Oh, I'm wonderful, man. We got luckily for us, there's so much that we can discuss even when the main league that we like to discuss isn't playing at all. It hasn't played in a while, and I'm excited that is starting again soon. And we'll be previewing that in the next couple weeks. But I'm excited. We got a lot of other stuff to talk about as well.
Yeah, kind of like we always say that, even though the Premier League and these domestic leagues are, obviously they're working their way back. A lot of preseason training is underway, a lot of friendlies for everybody's, club teams out there. People coming back from the Euros, trickling in here and there with their club teams after going on their respective vacations, getting a breather. But, of course, there's always some international competition most summers that keep us entertained. And right now we have the Gold Cup and the Olympics. Of course, the Olympics is only for women's because we suck and can't qualify in the men's. But
there are other teams to watch, but yes, I know what you're saying.
It's just tough. We were talking about it before the show. It's just you forget about the men's side of things because we're not in it, so it kind of is not put to the back burner, but you're not exactly paying attention as much as you probably would be if said U.S. men's national team was in it. But we do have the Gold Cup to talk about. The U.S., our C squad, sort of B squad, was able to get a 1-0 win over the Reggae Boys of Jamaica in a last-minute header from the one true hope, Matthew Hoppe, getting the goal late in the 88th minute, I believe, to give us the win and get us into the semifinals to face off against powerhouse Qatar, trickling into the CONCACAF the Gold Cup here. And I saw Anthony on YouTube before we even started here asked, he was confused why Qatar was even in this Gold Cup. And I think it was, we both had a theory and probably both are correct that, since Qatar hosts the World Cup in 2022, they probably were just looking for a tournament to play in, some competitive, since they're not going to qualify, they don't have to go through qualifying, so they're not going to have this kind of competitive matches until said World Cup starts up. So they figured might as well get some competitive games in. And I'm sure the money was put up front, and they said, absolutely, we would love your money. So absolutely, you can join the tournament. Brian said that this has been a thing where, random countries get invited to, the Copas or the Gold Cup. So I think it's one of those where if you have the money and you really want to play a competitive tournament, I'm sure they would let you in.
With limited resources as far as countries go to the availability, like we talked about when Lord Walker was on with Europa. Obviously, there is a large pool of countries over in Europe, as well as the African Nations League, larger pools of countries. These other tournaments, the South American tournaments, the Gold Cup, for instance, and the Copa America, could use a little bit more depth, I guess, as far as teams and quality. So there's always some outside invites. again, we mentioned Qatar back a week or so ago. Don't sleep on them. I know, Anthony, to answer your question, they're actually the Asian champion. They're the champions of Asia right now. So they do have some clout as far as that goes. And yeah, they're not going to be an easy out. Just like we've been saying these last couple of games, they're not going to be an easy out. To welcome Ted as well. Our last win was not against Canada. Our last win was just against Jamaica. We beat Canada in order to win the group, and then we just played Jamaica in the quarters to reach this point, as Adam mentioned at the open of the show. Matthew Hoppe, Matthew Hoppe, however you want to pronounce it. The kid's got some talent, man, and that's what we said we've been looking for. And you know how I feel about Daryl Dike, and how I really am pushing to have him as the number one striker for the U.S. men's national team. This kid is definitely making noise, and you almost have to find a way to get some of these guys all on the pitch at the same time. And just the thought of taking a couple of these guys and then Busio and maybe one or two more and pairing them with the A squad leading up to this World Cup qualifying is actually getting a little exciting. I would like to see some more convincing wins, but
I mean, yeah, excuse me. This is kind of what we were, hoping for, that this is an audition for people on the fringe to make a showcase for themselves to make that World Cup qualifying roster and eventually get into the World Cup actual roster once we make it, because we will make it. I'm just going to throw that good juju out there. But again, to the poll question, do you think, Matthew will be the future striker, or will he take the reins? Because it's open. Josh Sargent hasn't run away with anything. DK is still, trying to impress the coaches, and I think he was okay the other day, but Hoppe he didn't have a great game. Nobody really had a great offensive game the other night. He was in the right place, right time. He's 6'3", so he climbed the ladder and was able to get. He got up.
Hey, he got up. Zardes wasn't getting that ball, so
no.
As I said, he was our last chance there to do something. Yeah, he was.
There's going to be a lot of puns. I'm sorry, but
he got his head on ball, and that's what we ask for.
That's all you need.
We ask our scorers to score.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good clipped-in ball by, I think it was Christian Roldan.
It was.
Again, some of these guys, you kind of know, watching the men's national team, and you kind of know what these guys are. You know what Christian Roldan is. He's probably a C-level guy in our pool. You know what Zardes is going to bring. He's going to bring, he's got that ability to score goals, but he just doesn't do it enough.
I mean, a guy who's actually having a great tournament, Kellen Acosta, is another one. He was away from the team for 2 years. He didn't play a single cap with the U.S. men's national team at any level for 2 years, and comes back. And he's actually been a bright spot in this tournament, but again, not necessarily to the point where maybe for depth to be on that 25-man roster, but I don't want to see him in that 18-man rotation necessarily.
No, I mean, he's one that's definitely stood out because, I mean, he was supposed to be before Tyler Adams came on the scene, Kellen Acosta was supposed to be like that guy that was going to hold down the midfield for us for the future, and he really didn't live up to the hype. I don't know if he made the switch to Europe or he was talked about going there, but he was bounced around. I think he came from the Dallas FC Academy, which was why he got all that hype. Again, if it's otherwise, someone can chat in and say, no, it's different, but I'm pretty sure that was the case. And he just never, could hack it, but he's played well. Shaq Moore's played really well. Again, Paul
Miles
Areola,
Robinson's played well.
Miles Robinson, he played well. Again, the defense played great, I thought.
The defense has been good. There's been a few questionable plays where they've gotten lucky, and maybe some greater competition would have taken advantage. There was a couple times in that Jamaica game, and even with Hoppe, he made a couple plays early in that game that could have led to Jamaica goals.
Right.
But he came back and he fought back and stayed in the game. He's definitely better. He's better on the ball than DK. That's gonna you're gonna notice, especially with this team. DK's glaring issue is going to be he's not super strong on the ball. So without good service, he's not going to look as tremendous. I think you put him with the Pulisics and the Aronsons and the Geos and the guys that can really serve those balls up. He looks a little different. So I don't want to take away from him. He's been getting a little bit knocked around by some of these idiots on our broadcasts. But not our broadcast, but you know what I mean. On the U.S. broadcast of the tournament, these guys that act like they were the greatest goal scorers in the world and don't realize that sometimes strikers just need that. Some guys are more service guys. Some guys are more on the ball guys. I had that argument with Sargent and DK. And my theory is I don't care if you're a service guy or an on the ball guy. Whoever puts the ball in the net more consistently is the guy I want. So I definitely want Matthew in this grouping, in this rotation. I feel like he's deserved it. It's going to be a good thing going forward for us because you and I discussed center backs and strikers, I think, were our most glaring needs. And we're starting to see some of that kind of panning itself out. We're seeing guys step up.
Yeah, it's again, Matthew is, he's only 20 years old, so whether or not, he's going to be considered on this, World Cup qualifying roster is pretty tough to predict because there are some people probably in front of him just based on just experience. But again, who knows? Again, he didn't look too outstanding. He just, was able to get in the right spot and just, again, he's 6'3".
His work rate's phenomenal, though.
Oh, yeah, he's going to work his butt off. But again, Josh Sargent works his butt off, too. He just doesn't put the ball in the back of the net, consistent enough to be, that guy that – we want a guy that's going to be like – you think of the U.S. and you're like, okay, Josh, he's penciled in automatically. Like, he's up top for us. We just don't have – where it's like,
No, we don't have it yet. We don't have it yet.
And
we don't have it in the middle, I don't think, yet either. Outside of maybe Brooks. I think that second spot is wide open. And again, I love Brooks himself, but he's not getting any younger. And, he's still not necessarily that world-class center back that you would wish to hope to eventually groom in this country because we haven't had one for whatever reason.
I don't know. It's like we somehow cannot find defense, but we can have 1,000 goalies that can be successful, overseas.
Speaking of Matt Turner's really raised his bar for competition, at least for that third spot, if not the number 2.
I think he can challenge Ethan Horvath for that number 2 spot. Again,
it's looking
that's
that
another
way.
thing. People have penciled in Zach Steffen to be the number 1, but are you that
Does he
confident?
even play? Does he play anywhere? Does he even play soccer anymore, or does he just train?
I don't know. I really don't, because he's not getting games at City, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Besides cup games and stuff. But it's like, are you really confident with him in the net? To be like, I think we could win a bunch of games and beat, all these teams, A squads, once we get to that World Cup qualifying, starting, I think, Labor Day weekend already. I guess that's the big thing you got to think about because Matt Turner, granted, he hasn't faced too many shots, but when he has, he's made some huge saves. Even the one early in the game, I think, was not even a minute in. They had a great deep Cordova Reed had a great chance, and of course Matt Turner had to come up big early. So again, I'm not taking too much into it because this is like a C level team and some fringe B players, but it's nice to see some of the guys step up, I think, and whether or not Kellen Acosta can make a World Cup qualifying team, that's remain to be determined, but I think we could probably pencil in a Matt Turner at least making that team as at least a third. And then now we can kiss Brad Guzan probably goodbye.
Yeah, I think the end of Guzan and U.S. men's national team dresses is pretty much done. I mean,
which is fine. He's had
it's
a great
okay.
career.
Yeah, he's had a great career. He's a great MLS goalie. But we got bigger fish to fry going forward here, and we need to start really doing.
Goalie's not exactly our biggest issue going forward.
Yeah, no, we just need to take the best guys that we have, and that's what it needs to become. I'm gonna get to the point now where I don't care about caps. I don't care about veteran, how many times you've dressed for this team or not dressed for this team. If they are one of the best 25 players we have to offer, and their club is willing to allow them to play in whatever major tournament we need them to play in, that's what team needs to be here. And that's what team we need to start grooming and breeding and bringing and getting ready, not just for this World Cup, but for the one that we host, to where by then, with this immense amount of young talent that we have and continued development, we should be, at least talked about as maybe not a favorite, but extremely competitive when it's on our home soil in a few years.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal in the end, where, you make the 2022 World Cup when you see some improvement. It's like, all right, we get in. You make it out of the group stage, I think, would be a win.
Depending on our group, yeah.
Right. And maybe a win out of the knockout stage. But, I mean, beyond that, I mean, do you really expect, granted, everyone's going to be disappointed if we lose in the quarterfinals or the round of 16 again, but from not making it to, back in 2008.
Let's just get back. Let's
get back there. Let's establish ourselves again and be like, all right, we're good to go. Now we just need to improve on that for the next 2026 where we host, where we can really put our, that team will have experience. They'll be ready. They know what it takes, to not saying now the travel for 2026 will be great because we don't have to go that far since it's on our own home soil or Canada. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting. I think that we've talked about this for a long time, that I think everyone's kind of just itching at the chance to get these World Cup qualifying games going and see us with that A team in a competitive match. We haven't seen this group besides Nations League really in a true competitive, everything on the line. Because, I mean, you want to win your group stages to get to the hexagonal if we're still doing that shit. But yeah, it's, again, I think once September starts rolling closer, we can start making some predictions on who we think might actually be involved in the 25-man camp that will potentially get to Qatar in November 2022. Remember that this World Cup coming up is going to be, it's either right before or right after Thanksgiving, and it goes to, I think, right before Christmas, I think, is the timetable, which is going to be weird. We're going to be Winter World Cup. It's kind of weird, but I'm sure we'll get over it, especially if we actually make the damn thing, which we will.
Yes.
Good juju out there again. So, but yeah, I mean, in the other semifinal that hopefully we await to play, we got Mexico and good old Canada. The Canadians still rolling along even without Alphonso Davies at the helm. Still look like a good squad, but I mean, Mexico played a pretty good game the other night as well. So would I be surprised if it's USA-Mexico meeting in the Gold Cup final once again? No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always blame Canada, Greg. These guys, I'm telling you. I had to beat the shit out of a Canadian mentally the other day.
Adam was getting trolled hard by a Canadian.
Aggressive, just coming out of the woodwork with
That's what he does.
talking shit about our show, talking shit
I'm
about
surprised he hasn't I'm surprised he hasn't even popped on yet today.
He's a little bitch.
What's up, everybody, too, that's just joining us? Tommy, Wilson, Jake.
Jakey. Jake
What's
the
going
Snake.
on, guys? Yeah, so we there are some other stuff being played as well. Obviously there is a men's Olympic tournament going on. And like Adam said before, we're not going to discuss too much of it because we didn't qualify and we didn't make it. And our teams are not in it. So it's a little frustrating. That Mexico team is still in it. So Mexico has 2 tournaments still going on. Honduras no longer does, being that they got knocked out of Gold Cup. So they are they're going to be ones to watch, like you said. I think Canada's had a nice run here, but this Mexico team has gotten pretty hot, and I think this new wave of Mexican soccer is looking pretty good, with both teams pretty much playing well in respective tournaments. I know Mexico took a tough loss. I think it was to Japan in the Olympics, but they bounced back and got a nice 4-1 win over France. And they have the easier task coming up on the final day when we talk about that as well, which I think that's tomorrow morning, I was saying. Yeah, tomorrow morning. So we have tomorrow morning rounds out the group stages of the Olympics. There are some games on the men's side that have some implications as far as advancement goes. And then, as usual in these type of tournaments, there are games that mean absolutely nothing. So if you are a true lover of the sport, you will get your ass up at 4 a.m. Eastern time, as those games will go live, just like the women did this morning. And we'll touch on them too as we get further along in the show. But there is the game that I'm most interested in, obviously, is Germany and the team that I love rooting for in the Ivory Coast. And that game is huge implications as far as the group goes. Right now, Brazil's leading the group with 4 points. Ivory Coast has 4 after a shock draw of Brazil the other day. And Germany sitting there with 3. So this is a big game for both those teams. Brazil gets the luck of Saudi Arabia, who has not given anybody a game yet in this competition. So Brazil should roll on, probably win the group. But that other game has major implications as far as qualifying to the next round. Kind of torn on who to root for in that one.
I know that's your squad, the Cote d'Ivoire.
Yeah, and their starting center back, Mr. Eric Bailly, came out today too, and I think he's questioning his future as far as United goes. Very, very unsure future, as that United team has 8 center backs on their current roster right now, and 2 they're paying a real big lot of money to, and the other one, your boy Lindelof, has shown that he deserves some time too. So it's a little bit of a logjam. I have a feeling there might be some movement coming out of United center back camp, and there might be somebody available.
There is going to be, especially with that signing.
Yes, so we might as well segue right into it. We can bounce around. It really doesn't matter. There's so much to talk about or not talk about. So I know you put that as the YouTube poll question, I think.
Yep.
So Raphael Varane joins Manchester United in one of probably the biggest center back signing in the Prem since Van Dijk, I would say, maybe, even though his was internal. You knew that was like the big move coming that transfer window, with him moving out of Southampton somewhere when he went to Liverpool. This one's even bigger, I think, as far as the name goes. This is a guy who's won a World Cup, who's been a starting center back at Real Madrid. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
I always thought, I'm seeing a lot that everyone likes it, but I don't know. I've seen Varane play recently, and I haven't been that impressed. But maybe it's just games I've seen that he hasn't been very good. But to me, does it make United a contender? Probably not. It's probably a good upgrade. But again, like you said, it's a big logjam now at center back, and a lot of feelings are going to be hurt. Like Bailly said, my future there, I don't see it. You know,
yeah, he just signed a new deal in April. Like he just signed a 4-year deal in April. So
well, you know, Harry Maguire, nobody's gonna get him out of the lineup. So
you ain't, unless he's hurt or in a Greek prison, he's not out of that lineup.
Which you never know. He could be going
both are very extremely possible.
He might be going crazy over in Greece right now. Who knows?
This was right around the time last year, I think, is when he got locked up.
Right before the season.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, no. It does make them a little bit better, but the fact that, I mean, they know what they're starting their back four is going to be. I mean, Luke Shaw's taken those reins. Varane, I'm assuming. Harry Maguire, and I guess Wan-Bissaka, right back?
Yeah. Wan-Bissaka is actually, every time he's in there, the guy's so good that you just forget that he's there. He gets like nothing talked about him, but he had a really good season last year.
Yeah.
That team, I hate to say it, that team's dangerous, and that team's adding some pieces that I like, players that I enjoy watching. And I don't like that because now I can't enjoy watching them.
Well, for once, United's actually getting players to come in and not striking out on them. You know, Jadon Sancho, that's a nice little upgrade there. I guess
if
that
Pogba
might mean
stays, they're in good shape.
Yeah. I mean, I was hearing I wanted Anthony Martial maybe to come the other way, and that Jadon Sancho deal would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But that also means Dan James is probably on his way out if they keep signing. If you know, he's just behind Jadon Sancho, I'm assuming at this point. He hasn't really done much either, so
yeah.
I don't know, Anthony. That's a good question. I think, well, Gianluca Busio, is that official? He's going to, is it Spain or Italy?
I don't know if that's done yet. I think there's some deep talks right now, but as of now, I'm pretty sure he's still technically with KC. But he's going to be the next one. Everybody wants the next McKinney. Everybody wants the next Pulisic, which is awesome for us. We just hope that it's the right guys going to the right places and they shine as opposed to not, and then it starts to become like, hey, look, this guy can't play or something like that. But I have the utmost faith that Busio can compete at any level. That kid's legit. And he's starting to play back on the ball. He's starting to play some defense too, which is nice to see. Yeah,
he's a good player. I mean, other than that, it's
DK's going to end up somewhere. We know that.
So, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see Matthew Hoppe out of Schalke and playing maybe in some lower first division team in Germany.
Yeah, if he can stay in Germany but get, back up into League One, that would be nice.
Or he could kill it in the second division and maybe get Schalke right back up.
Yeah, that.
Fuck you. Oh my God. You were wondering when he was going to come in trolling.
You knew he was showing up. We just have to wait. Though. We'll just stay quiet till Mexico runs them out of the league. So
he a little bitch because I made fun of his precious Vancouver Whitecaps. You want a real team? This is a real team, Dan. Talk to me when you win a fucking supporter shield, you little bitch.
Tell him.
Yeah.
Look, real team.
At least they have some history.
We went MLS heavy today, didn't we? Unplanned MLS heavy today. And
I'm going to the Union game Sunday with it's Brett's bachelor party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So my first Union game in like 2 years against
Who
Chicago.
They play?
Chicago.
Oh, man, if Schweinsteiger was there, I'd have to crash that.
See the old German lad.
Yeah.
Hey, you come in hot making fun of me and you make fun of the show, I'm going to block your ass. That's
Yeah,
not.
Adam don't play that shit.
That's beyond trolling. That's just being a dickhead. So, anyway, Anthony, great questions. Love them.
No, you know where he's going.
I would hope he goes to the Prem if he has another great season here in Dortmund.
He's going to Big Daddy.
I hope
Big
he
Daddy
does not
Bayern.
go to Bayern.
He's going to Big Daddy Bayern.
I really hope that's not the case. But I could definitely see that too.
I'd love to see that.
We'll see. If he has a great season, who knows? He's still a young kid.
He's definitely becoming one of my favorites on the U.S. men's national team. Out of the selection that they have right now, he's got to get a ton of playing time. He's got to get a ton of opportunities. He really drives that team. Even those times when Pulisic was down and not available, Gio was doing really good things for that team. So,
yeah, Anthony, sorry. We kind of explained it in the beginning, but I'll kind of explain it. So, I mean, Qatar, with them hosting the World Cup in 2022, they don't have to go through qualifying. So they probably want some competitive style tournament to at least gear them up and have a little bit, of a competitive streak going into that World Cup and not just, playing friendlies up until that point. So Qatar is probably like, you know what, we need some competitive matches before the World Cup, and I'm sure money talks. So they were like, sure, why not? Come in, play, give us some money. That always does. That never hurts.
Oh yeah, the money goes in to get in, and then if you can. Right now, they've gotten some of that money back by getting to the Final Four too. So
exactly, and I believe Brian said that they are the champions of Asia. Correct?
Yes, they're the champions of Asia currently. So they definitely have some clout. Like I said, we can't overlook them, and even going into that World Cup, whoever gets them in a group can't just assume that they're there because they're the host. That team's going to come in, and that team's going to fight, just like we're seeing in some of these Olympic games right now. You look at Japan. Japan, they're a good soccer country, but they've come out and they've punched two teams in the mouth real quick, and they're the only team right now in the men's group stage with 6 points. Nobody else through 2 games has gotten 6 points, and that's countries such as Spain, Argentina, Brazil, Germany, Mexico, France. So they're the only ones with 6 points. So having that home field is huge as well.
For sure. I'm a fan of Chelsea. Hey, me too, brother. Blue's the color. There you go.
I like Atletico. I'm an Atletico guy.
Good teams. Chelsea, well, they're going to loan a lot of guys back out because the squad, you forget how many guys you actually loan out, especially at Chelsea. There's probably 15 guys that you're like, wait, that guy's still on the team? And it's like, oh, yeah, as far as signings, you just hope Holland, man.
I'm going to get my Tammy jersey.
Tammy Abraham probably going. You already saw Olivier Giroud out the door.
Lacazette could be going to Atletico. So that would be a win-win for both of us as well, Anthony, because I can tell you Lacazette can put the ball in the net. Doesn't do everything great, but he can put the ball in the net. And if you need another striker up top there for that team, he'll definitely be helpful. And that'll open the door for Tammy to come right on over.
It's probably going to happen. I mean, depends on how they rate. If they still have faith in Timo, I guess, is the big question. Because that'll probably – or again, if Holland comes in, I'm sure Tammy will be out the door pretty quick.
I think Tammy just feels probably a little disrespected, and you can't blame him.
He never bought in, though, to Tuchel. Everyone's like, I don't believe this. Can you believe this guy? He's fucking bullshit. He's making us work hard. Fuck that.
I don't know. I don't think that was the case. I don't think that was the case at all. I think he's been a little disrespected from the jump by ownership. They only brought him back because his team got promoted into the Premier League and they didn't want to have to face him. They put him in right from the jump. The guy did nothing but score goals and keep Chelsea relevant while they were facing a money ban. And then as soon as that ban got dropped, ownership was like, yeah, fuck you, Tammy Abraham. We're going to go drop money all over your position, and you're never going to play again. And that was pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, you saw
the guy did everything right.
When Frank was fired, he was pretty hurt. I'm sure, losing an English manager.
But even Frank wasn't playing him, like.
And you saw
that was an ownership issue.
There's been a disconnect. I mean, he went to Villa, he killed it. He basically got Villa promoted.
He absolutely got Villa promoted.
He scored like 28 goals. So I don't know. You got to buy in or not. And Tuchel's that hard ass. It's like if you're not, you're just going to sit on the bench or not even be in the 18. That's kind of how
you got your slap on the wrist, and then the paychecks open back up, and he was forgotten about.
I think he'll be on the move, but
Tonali. I don't want Chelsea to sign him. I'm a big fan of him. The funny thing is, I've been a fan of him for like 3 years now because I got him as a nice youth on one of my. No, not even an ultimate team. It's like one of those when we build our teams, like you and I like to do, and try and actually get them promoted. He was like one of the cores of my young, up and coming squad, and he had like a 10-goal season. Yeah, he was a beautiful guy.
Yeah, the only problem is the Italians sometimes, or most time, don't really succeed in the Premier League. We've seen so.
Jorginho needs a friend.
That'd be great if I had Jorginho and Tonali. But Tonali's only 21. I think he still has time to grow. So
he's still young.
Give him some years, and maybe 2-3 years down the road, maybe we'll see him make a move. But I think he should still get games. What is he at AC Milan, I believe?
Yeah, I think he's still with AC. Although they've made a lot of moves as well. So
I always wanted Hakan Çalhanoğlu, but. Again, another guy that's probably wouldn't succeed much in the Premier League. And Turkey stinks right now. They're terrible.
There's a lot of movement going on. It's slowly starting to pick up, and we're winding down this transfer window, and we're waiting for these big names to finally drop. There's a lot of little stuff happening.
Yeah, I saw Eric Lamela left Spurs to go to Sevilla.
Yeah, and I can be an Eric Lamela fan now. We love you, Eric Lamela. You're now we now like you.
He's always good for a red card, Yeah,
enjoy Sevilla. You will have a chance to win Europa, which is more of a chance than you would have had at Spurs.
I mean, freaking Toby Alderweireld going to
about him he got shipped out to Qatar. We're talking about Qatar. Toby's just like, see you later. Every time I see a move like that, I feel like watching an old Garfield episode where he sends Nermal to Abu Dhabi. I feel like
oh man, he's just following the money trail, baby.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if it was just as obviously he has to make an agreement to go.
Yeah, I don't think they would just.
I mean, you can't just ship a guy out. It's a little different than some U.S. sports if people don't know how the whole process works. We won't get into the whole process, but once a team wants you and a team has decided that they're willing to pay the other team for you, you still now have to sit down with that team and agree to go there. So there's a whole lot going on there. Ooh, Evan, where are you watching from?
From the shower, you naughty boy.
Oh yeah, Tokyo. Where you at?
I'm guessing. My guess is a shower or the Phillies stadium or something.
Speaking of Tokyo, we might as well give them, since they're not the highlight of the show. Yeah, shower time.
Let's go. That's dedication, man. We appreciate the listening in the shower.
Hashtag
hopefully
shower
just
talk.
Listening, maybe not watching us. You never know.
Yeah. Let's hope
do a shower show.
A shower show. Live from the shower. You and I have done every other show. I mean, there's not much left. We've done rooftops and beaches, and
I've done in the middle of the woods in Virginia.
Yeah.
We've been everywhere, and I'm sure I'll change my scenery on Thursday because I'm just all over the place.
So before we got into the shower talk, Well, actually, you know what? Let's since we're the king of segues, let's segue that before we do that. And one thing you can do in the shower is scape yourself.
That's true.
If you're doing that or you're not, Evan, you need to jump on that and get your Manscaped order in. Obviously, the Olympics, the Euros, baseball, majors, concerts, all in this summer. But you know what isn't? A wild, hairy bush. Tame your pubes with help from your friends at Manscaped, the leaders in the below-the-waist grooming. The 4th-generation performance package includes the brand-new Lawnmower 4.0, which does work in the shower. If an athlete treats their body like royalty, you should treat your pubes like Olympic gold. Fellas, do the right thing by your balls and join the 2 million worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com, entering code A2D, and getting 20% off and free shipping on your order. I don't know how you could go wrong with that at all.
It's pretty sweet. Again, I do have it. This is bad TV, but 1 minute.
That's all right. I'll hold the filler. So Adam's going to show the proof is in the pudding. He's going to grab the Lawnmower 4.0 just so you can see. With its nice, beautiful leather carrying case. He's going full QVC on you right now. There it is. It's got the nice skin guard on there so you don't get all ripped up. Like I said, the boys at Wall really dropped the ball. They will not preserve your boys. That preserves your balls from chafing. So go Manscaped.
It's pretty sweet. I got it.
And everybody loves the deal of 20% off. So again, A2D is your promo code.
And the ladies like it too, so.
Yes, they do. And speaking of the Olympics and the ladies.
Great segue.
The ladies did move on this morning, early morning again. A very uneventful draw with Australia. But like Adam said, that's all they needed. They did enough. Miss Alex Morgan came out today and said, don't worry, tournament doesn't start till the quarters anyway, so there's nothing to fear. I'm going to disagree with her. They need to worry. They made a crucial error, and here's where I'm going to tell you they made a crucial error. They got through to the quarterfinals. Group stages, right? We say they don't mean shit if you advance.
Sure.
Except by not handling their business in game 1 against Sweden, they now have to play Netherlands in the quarterfinals. And just, for those who don't understand or those who don't follow women's soccer, the Netherlands in their last opponents, let me just go off, pull this up real quick.
They beat the shit out of someone.
They've tied Brazil 3-3, who everybody knows Brazil's up there with the U.S. women as far as, powerhouses in women's soccer. They beat China 8-2.
They put a snowman on China.
Prior to that, they played some friendlies. They beat Norway 7-0. They did lose to Italy back in June. Prior to that, they won 5-0 against that same Australian team. They've put a 6th spot up on Belgium back in February. This team can score goals. This team is no walk in the park for the U.S. women's team, and they better bring their A game to this Netherlands game and prove that group stage did not mean shit and that you can just run through everybody. Because that's how Alex Morgan wants to put it. It doesn't mean anything. They could have played Japan. And again, Japan's not going to be an easy out. They're the host. But I think they would have had an easier time than with this Netherlands team. That's all I'm going to say. So we will find out.
Yeah, I mean, the remaining women's teams are all really good. So it's like, I guess you got to pick your poison. I mean, you play Canada, Brazil, you got Great Britain, Australia, Sweden, Japan, Netherlands, USA. All those teams are tough, so...
Those will all be on Friday, and they're actually at a reasonable hour, 7 a.m.
Reasonable
Eastern
for some.
Standard Time. Yeah.
Reasonable for some. It's tough for me.
Yeah, tough for Adam, but
a normal person.
The nice thing is, Most of those are on tape delay, so when you are watching them, you'll get to see at a good time. But it's not going to be an easy test. So good luck to the U.S. women. Good luck. Congratulations on qualifying. We expected nothing less. But be ready.
Yeah. It's what they had to do. They only had to get the point, but a disappointing 0-0 draw. If there's a disappointing draw, I guess that would be it. You want to see him come out a little bit better than at least New Zealand. Their backs were against the wall. They knew they needed to win that game. Absolutely step on the throat type game, which we wanted to see a little bit more, but I don't know. Again, like you said, can they back up what, put the money where their mouth is, I guess, and, back up saying, hey, the group stage is whatever. If we want, as long as we make it out, is pretty much what she was saying. That's fine. But now you have to play the first out of that group in Netherlands, which is tough. Like you said, they're scoring goals at will. They put an 8 spot up. You don't ever hear that in any men, women.
Yeah, they put a 5, a 6, a 7, and an 8 all within the last 4 months or 3 months. So. Whatever. Yeah.
So it's going to be tough, but again, I think I have faith, and I said before the last show that we would come out and beat New Zealand, and we did pretty handily. And all we needed to do was a draw against Australia, and we did. And I'm pretty sure, that they're going to come out and they're going to win.
Adam believes that we will win.
I can't wait to chant that.
There's such a mixed view on that chant. It's so crazy.
I thought it was a great little thing for 2016.
Yeah, like it had its time. I don't think it needs to stay. I don't think it needs to stay forever. My issue with it was going to places and seeing some of these tools that never watched a game in soccer in their life just extra drunk, starting these chants because, it's awesome that you got behind Team USA because it's America. Yeah,
I believe.
You don't.
I believe that. I believe that. I believe that we will win. I believe that you mean?
I don't know. It just has such a weak Midwest vibe to it or something. It's so Columbus and so Ohio and it needs to go. We need something strong when we qualify for 2022. I think that should be part of our objective as Kickin It Stateside is come up with something to replace that as far as because I believe we will never win anything of major significance if that is our chant.
We will never win at all.
Lord Walker's probably trying to. He's probably not watching live because we haven't heard from him yet. But he's going to go back and watch this and then yell at me. Because I feel like he's a proponent of that chant.
I thought it was pretty. It was neat at the time.
He's such a company guy.
I thought it was neat at the time, but it was a little over.
Yeah,
like you said, everybody. And what we want is the people that don't know much about soccer at all, and the laissez-faire fans to be that into it. I love that, and
we do.
In 2014, it was great. Literally, the whole country was on board, and you saw the watch.
But where you been for the last 7 years? Where's that same guy been?
Well, it's only for the big tournaments, and of course we didn't qualify in 18, so 2022.
It is
I think,
part of our own doing. It is part of our own.
And it's going to be hard because now it's going to be in November, and we're going to have these outside watch parties, and we're going to be freezing our asses off.
Good. It's fun. That'll tell you who really cares.
Yeah. Especially during football, American football season, who really cares?
Oh, man. Are you that? That's going to be the real test.
You got to compete with that. I forgot about that.
Are you going to watch a World Cup game over an NFL game?
In this country?
Can that team get that good that people will make that conscious choice? Probably not. No matter how good this team does, unfortunately. But I will.
I think it's probably a split. again, depending on how each teams do, our respective teams are doing in November, it would that would probably determine a lot.
Yeah.
But that's also 2 years away, so we'll
we got some
for another time. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, anything else crazy? I mean, again, transfers have been trickling in here and there. Again, Raphael Varane, if you haven't seen, he's going from Madrid to Manchester United. I think it was $35 million plus add-ons, I believe was the fee.
Yeah. Brian Hill comes in from Sevilla to Tottenham. So
Good.
Not a straight player swap, I don't think, with Lamela, but it just happened to be one in, one out.
Oh, we were talking about last year what Liverpool was going to do with Harry Wilson.
Oh, yes, we did. Fulham.
To Fulham.
Weird.
Very nice.
Sooner or later, you knew that ball was going to drop sooner or later, but to Fulham, that's hey, maybe he becomes the face of Fulham and gets him back up into the Prem for a year.
You never know.
For a year.
A year, and then they'll do what Fulham does and head down. I want to go back to Anthony quick before.
Oh, yeah.
I want to know if Pedri would ever make the switch out of Spain. He seems like a Manchester City just destined to go there.
Yes. That would make sense. I could see Pedri headed in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Lord Walker. Qatar's a guest.
Yeah. He didn't, he just gets on, so we did mention that earlier. And he's probably going to...
It's an invited guest. It's here's some money. May we play? Of course. Yes, you can sit at our table.
Harry Wilson is an excellent player.
We'll have to see. I mean, I root for Fulham. I really do, but every time they were lucky to even get back up. Yeah. It took a Joe Bryan game of his life to get Fulham up the previous season.
Yeah, they were not favored in that game, and they snuck back in and snuck right on back down 38 games later. Yeah.
But I think Harry Wilson will help them out. And it depends.
No, he will.
I mean, if Ruby Loftus-Cheek goes back to Fulham, who knows?
Lord Walker confirming what I've been saying. Qatar is the champions of Asia and no pushover.
We did say that.
When it comes from the Lord's mouth, it holds even more weight. So just know, people, be ready for a fight on was it Thursday, right? Thursday night?
Thursday, 7:30 Eastern. Yeah, I mean, I don't think if you're getting to the semifinals, beating some of these teams, you're not a slouch.
No,
I don't think it'd be luck.
Is that our official? Was that our 10th, or is this now our 11th straight Gold Cup semifinals? I think it's our 11th. I think it was 10 going into that game, and we just made
That's a lot.
It is, which is good.
We should.
We should. Every one of those, we should at least be in the semifinals. Definitely. There's no reason that we shouldn't be. So. Still waiting on a few transfer moves left.
Daniel Malin from PSV Eindhoven going to Dortmund, official.
Yeah.
Big move for the young Dutchman, replacing Jadon Sancho, hopefully.
Yeah, that's nice for your Dortmund boys. Bring another nice, good young player in there that they can groom for.
I like a lot. I like very much.
Yeah. Arsenal has their I guess biggest one so far that's not been officially announced yet, so I guess we'll wait on that. But
is Ben White
it sounds
coming
in? Yeah, it sounds like this Ben White deal's a done deal. I'm good with it. I've been begging for center back help. Luiz is gone, and Saliba's loaned out again, so it looks like it's going to be between him and Mari and couple other guys here for those final spots on the center back. I don't know.
I don't know.
There was a really good interview on Arsenal TV though with the young Albert kid. So if anybody gets a chance and wants to watch that, I like what this kid brings. He seems really excited to play with some of the guys in Pepe and Oba and all that. So we'll see. Already working on goal celebrations. He has his that I guess he does a little like John Cena type thing. So I'll be happy to see that in some Arsenal red. Keep crapping on the Gold Cup as I'd love to see us play Craig Scotland. I honestly think we would beat them handily. You know what?
I think it's only crapping. Well, why are they saying crapping? Because it's not our best players or what?
No, it's like when you watch these commentators, no matter what we do or what, it's always like, oh well, we weren't really good enough, but we squeaked by Jamaica with a 1-0 win. Oh, we weren't really good enough. Oh, DK's not doing this. Oh, so and so's not doing this. It's like I got so mad. That's why I've been calling out Lawless. I've been calling out all of them, and some old school guys are like, well, you forgot about this and forgot. You know what? I didn't forget about that. But you know what these guys haven't done? They're just like pure negativity. I don't see them going out there and trying to help grow our game. I feel like they're just negative, and they're always trying to compare what they did to what is now. And there is no comparison, in my honest opinion. Like, yeah, they won a couple big games here and there, but this group is what we really need to hang our hats on, and this group is what we need to keep growing the sport. They haven't grown. Those guys never helped grow the sport in the last 20, 30 years. They didn't. Not in this country, and they can't say they did. It's bullshit.
Wouldn't you, as like a former U.S. men's national team player, like want us to be good, though? And not
Lawless acts like he does, but he
was better than the teams now. I just don't. I don't understand. I mean, I know Lexi Lawless is a big hater, which is fine, but I feel like I would want the men's national team to be good, because then you're like, yeah, we started this back in the day, and now it's just gone up since then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And this, you know what? Some of the competition has been diminished a little bit because we said, like, teams like Mexico, Honduras, they were spread out.
It's not A teams for some of these countries, which I understand.
Yeah, well, they've been split between the Olympics and here going on at the same time and things like that. But it's...
Well, that's the thing. Like, COVID happened, so now all these tournaments have to be played in the same summer.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine a U.S. team had to field a Gold Cup team plus an Olympic team for the men's?
Yeah.
That'd be spread pretty thin.
Gold Cup might get a little boring if we just brought our A team and just, but that's not the case. It's a good tournament for us. It's a good tournament for us to really see what these guys are made of. That's why I was clamoring so much to get these young guys on the pitch.
Well, you want to get these A guys a little bit of rest because it's going to be a long season coming up. You got a full club season and you have World Cup qualifying all this year. And that's a lot of travel. Especially all the guys that are going to be coming in from Europe for like 3 days and then flying right back, or a week at a time and flying right back to Europe. Like, that's a lot. We want to give some of these guys a little bit of a rest. And I'm sure the clubs do as well.
Answer Anthony's question. I do in some form. I don't know how that's going to go, but I see the World Cup field getting expanded probably. I think going into 2026, it is getting expanded officially. So as the fields expand and the tournaments expand, you're going to need more teams in different qualifying regions and areas. I think with South America and Lord Walker making his point when he defends, the tournaments down there and that they only have limited amount of teams, bringing us all together would be a better pool, a better pot. Bring the North America, the South America. But even then, I feel like you got to find a way, maybe like some of the islands in some of those countries. But, yeah, I think there's more expansion coming. There's more it's definitely going to get spread out.
I think so in due time.
Tournaments.
But, again, it's kind of like the argument that we had with I think Italy should play Argentina in like this Super Cup. Well, it's kind of called the World Cup in a next season or next year to see if those games actually happen and who will win those said games.
I would like to see some of those smaller island countries like we've played in this, like the Trinidads and the Saint Martiniques and the regions of France or whatever they are. I know some of them aren't actually countries, or they're territories owned by other countries. But I would like to see them kind of maybe play for one spot and guaranteed one spot out of all those countries in the World Cup, to where they don't have to get thrown up against some of these, us and the Mexicos and and give them an opportunity to at least be represented in the group stages. I feel like that would be really good for them as well.
Like San Marino?
Yeah, why not? Like,
where they always get their ass kicked like 8-0 every game, and there's like all those guys have other jobs besides playing soccer.
Hell yeah. Like, that would be awesome. That would you gotta get one of those teams in. It's like getting those
let's have a guy that just gets their ass kicked every game.
We do it in the NCAA tournament. We let these mid-majors in, and we put these 16 seeds in, and, once every 50 years, one of them wins and makes a great story. So it just adds to that potential of an opportunity of a large upset. Could you imagine Saint Martinique, a French territory, playing the French national team and going in and stomping them boys out like 2-1 in some major? That would be a great upset. It would be a great story.
Great stories.
I like stories.
I'll have to watch that, Lord. I'm not a huge Stevie Nickel guy. He seems like an asshole to me.
Yeah. A lot of these guys are a little bit of a, I don't know.
Wasn't Stevie Nickel a Liverpool player as well?
Yeah, it's his beloved Stevie Nickel. Why he's beloved.
Craig Burley sucks.
That's the only reason he's beloved.
Oh, that's right. I selective reading on my beloved Stevie Nickel. Anything Liverpool, I'd kind of like tune out or not read.
So,
but yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, it's again the transfer window. It's so long. It's a 2-month process, so it's. You're not going to have a bunch of players like dropping, big guys week, multiple per week. It's usually, I'm sure by the time Thursday rolls around, there'll probably be another one because
we'll have another big name dropped. Yeah,
I'm sure you'll get Haaland out of nowhere, like to Chelsea for 170 million or something.
Then I think it's coming
for joy.
I think it's coming.
Be sad at the same time.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you don't like Shaka Hislop?
It's just guys like Ronaldo from the World Cup and saying they don't deserve. Yeah, I know. It's
sometimes I wonder if they're just saying those things to stir up controversy.
Because they work for ESPN, and that's what the writers put in front of them and tell them that they need to say that today. That's
the producers in their ear, like, "Yo, say this crazy thing, so we have some controversy, so we're still talked about."
Because all these guys forget their own career sometimes when it comes down to it, and it's like, "Oh, I was such a great player," but you're not a great player unless you win something. And everybody's like, "Well, what'd you win?" And they're like, "I was a really great player." Yeah.
Shaka, Trinidad and Tobago goalie.
Yeah.
And he played I think he had a cup of tea for. Did he play for Plymouth? Or no, Portsmouth over in England?
I think he was a Portsmouth guy. Yeah, I mean, these guys weren't, a lot of them weren't bad players, but they all forget their own careers when they want to start criticizing other guys.
Was really good, I believe, at Liverpool, if I'm not mistaken.
No, Stevie Nichols was great. Again, like Lawless was a good U.S. defender, but he was at a weird era.
Who was arguing with us that somebody said Tony Meola was better than Tim Howard or something?
I know.
That was a hot take. Or was that Lord Walker? Did he even say that?
No, that could not have been him.
Somebody said
there was a group of U.S. soccer that overachieved one time and then never built off of it and never did anything behind the scenes, in my opinion, to help do anything to better. The best thing anybody in the old reign of U.S. soccer did to help further U.S. soccer these days, in my opinion, was Claudio Reyna having a kid and giving us Gio Reyna, because he seems to be the brightest spot that we've had in the last 20-some years, along with this other, some of these other guys. But other than that, it's like, come on, guys. You did a little something. You didn't. Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah, I said probably Pedri stays at Barcelona, or I can see him getting caught up in the evil empire, which is known, if you're new to the show, Man City.
I like how Anthony only writes to you because you're a Chelsea fan. He sees that Arsenal over my shoulder, and he's never like, "Hey, Brian, what do you think about this?"
He sees the Chelsea jersey hung up. He knows.
Yeah, he knows. So
he knows the goods are. No, I mean it's exciting. Again, we have Premier League soccer coming up, so
exactly, and we'll get there. We have these, the Gold Cup, Olympics, all those things will be winding down, and we'll do our Premier League preview show coming up in the very near future.
Yeah, I mean, I think that should be a day where we do it for one day. I think that would be a good 2-hour show.
Yeah, or we'll do that whole week. We'll do a Tuesday and a Thursday, both dedicated to that show, kind of split some stuff up. It's probably going to depend on what big transfer news comes as well.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
There you go.
He did play for the only Trinidad World Cup team. And that's you can't kill a goalie to another goalie. You're going to hear about that. So Lord Walker would come defending his fellow goalie brethren. No
I don't talk shit on goalies. I thought he played. For some reason, I thought he was a Portsmouth lad. But that makes sense.
He might have played for Portsmouth as well, but he apparently did get time. He was with Newcastle and West Ham, so
it's awesome. Good stuff.
I generally don't agree with a lot of stuff he says on ESPN, so that's
a good. That's a good name drop from Anthony Shaka Hislop.
Yeah. So we're gonna wrap it up. We do have yellow card, red card. I didn't have a yellow card. I had one red. It's a straight red on ourselves, and part of it was because of scheduling, and part of it was because of all the different stuff that's going on. But we did neglect to give any mention or respect over the last 2 weeks to the great Paul Mariner, who did pass away. So I just wanted to mention that because we've been good about that when any kind of big name in our sport moves on in the world, and we did not do that. So I'm just throwing a red card at us. But Paul Mariner, I did enjoy his commentary, and I did enjoy listening to hear him talk. So he will be missed greatly. True
to that. I forgot about that as well. Just sometimes there's a lot going on to fit into 1 hour shows. So no disrespect, but yeah. RIP to Paul Mariner. I mean, I would just say that I have my yellow card out for just the women's national team, especially now that Alex Morgan is saying, hey, tournament don't start till knockouts. Well, again, like we said,
you're on notice now.
You're on notice. I never thought I had to put the women's team on notice, but I'm going to have to. And again, maybe when I put people on notice, they tend to do really well. Hence when I called out Di Maria, and he stuck it right up my hoop and scored in the Copa America final. So
I feel like outside of maybe playing Brazil in a final, this is going to be their biggest test. So
hey, the Netherlands again putting up 8 spots on teams.
Yeah, and Alex don't have to play defense, so she better be careful what she wishes for.
Oh, we need a listener to pull a Tim Howard against Belgium. Just stand on your head. Help us out.
Yeah.
And I think the U.S. women's team has the most offsides. It's becoming a Murata issue.
I'll say when it comes to Messi.
I mean, we have this talk a lot with this could stir up a lot of stuff because we have some people watching that are big Messi people, and we've had this argument a lot.
We have some people talking that are not big Messi people.
That's true. You're going to have to tune in on Thursday, 2:00, because we'll probably talk more about it. But it's, some of us are Ronaldo people. Some of us are Messi people. Some of us give credit where credit is due for Messi winning his first trophy with Argentina. Some of us are still on the fence, but yeah, you can't knock the guy. He's amazing.
No one's ever knocked him.
There's nothing bad to say about Messi. He is one of the GOATs. Yeah, I'm being honest. Like, I'm not a Messi dick rider, if that's what you're asking. I respect him. I think he's gone down. He will be one of the best. But if you're asking me on which side, I'm more of a Ronaldo person than Messi.
Joey, Messi people or Messi people?
You know what?
I'm very neat.
Neither, because I'm a very neat person and I'm not a Messi person either.
Yeah.
So neither.
And Anthony says he can't be offended. We could have a half-hour Messi conversation where you would leave offended, I promise. So
there's really not a lot of love from the two of us here. Oh, jeez.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Anthony, you just opened a can of worms again.
Oh, I'm loving it. And you know what? We're going to bring that on to Thursday.
I appreciate it, though. He's been great. Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah.
Great
Thank you, Anthony, and thank you, Lord Walker, for putting that out there, because I need to write Thursday's criteria. And that's going to go perfectly into the show, because I'm not a Luis Suarez guy. And him just helping Atletico win their league this past season was huge. And he's done some good things for Uruguay. So, but Adam's like, here we go.
That was my mic drop. Like, I can't believe it. I'll see you on Thursday type reaction.
Yeah, we're out of here.
Yeah, that was perfect way. Thank you, everybody that checked in. Lord Walker, Joey with the late comment. I love it. Good guy. Anthony, again, thanks for joining us, man. Hopefully you'll be back Thursday, again. Same time, 2:00. Again, everybody, Tommy, Evan, Evan from the shower watching.
Yes.
Dan,
don't slip in the shower. If you slip in the shower, you'll need to go see Specialized Physical Therapy.
That's true.
And Dr. Paul Vidal. Yes, we cannot forget to mention the show sponsor before we head out of here. So SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com, Burlington, Cherry Hill, whatever you need, they are here for you. Award-winning. And last but not least, Anthony, you as well. I don't see green next to your name. Dan's back. I don't see green next to your name. Pay that extra Canadian dollar. $14 in Canada. $14 in Canada. $9.99 US. A2D memberships includes perks, show appearances, members only streams, shout outs, weekly sports picks from the Money Pot podcast.
Rough and rowdy, Dan versus me.
Which will be throwing a little bit of K-Stateside love to the Money Pot podcast coming up in the upcoming Premier League season. Also, join our Kickin It Stateside Fantasy League. Inbox us.
Yes, message us if you want to play.
Message us. Thomas Wilson did message me, Adam, the Leeds guy. He is back in.
Oh, perfect.
And predicts that he will have a full team of Leeds players again, although now more people are in on the Leeds quality.
I don't know if he's going to have that this year.
I don't think the whole Leeds team is going to fall to him this year, but he is hoping so. So anybody else that would like to join us for that fantasy league, please jump in soon.
Canadians not welcome.
I think that's an American. No, you can't. We can't say American only because we've had a South African in the league.
That's true.
So,
hopefully, Nieme joins us again this year.
Dan won't join in because he hates the Prem, and he'll just badmouth all the players anyway. So
that's right. He's a Turkish dick rider.
So on that note, we love you guys. We will see you Thursday, 2 p.m.
Love y'all.
Later.